Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. And the first time we've ever had the Florida Marlins on the channel. It's opening day in Florida. And the Chicago Cubs post 1961 Apba League travels to Florida to take on the Marlins. And leading off for the Cubs, playing shortstop, is Dustin. Batting second, playing second is Burkett. Batting third, playing third is Bryant. Batting fourth, playing right is Sosha. Batting fifth, playing first is Lee. Batting sixth, playing left field is Kingman. Batting seventh, playing center field is Dawson. Batting eighth, on the catching is Barnett. And on the mound, batting ninth is Jake. And let's get over to the home team, Florida Marlins starting lineup. Leading off, playing second base is Castilla. Batting second, playing left, got the belches. Playing left field is Colin.
Colin.
Batting third, playing shortstop is Ramirez. Batting fourth, playing right field is Sheffield. Batting fifth, playing center field is Ozuna. Batting sixth, playing first base is Bohr. Batting seventh, playing third base is Prado. And batting eighth on the catching is Riamoto. And on the mound is Dante Willis. Let's get down here to Florida and get this game started. As Philip Reynolds joins us here today. Happy New Year's to you too, Philip. And we got Sean Dustin to lead it off here for the Cubs. And in 1995, he batted 296, 14 homers, and 69 RBIs. And Willis in 2005 was 22-10 with a 2.63 ERA. And here's the pitch to Dunston. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And that's going to be an E5. And the Marlins don't start off this game very well, and they can't afford to be giving up errors and walks. It's going to be a rough season, I think, for these Florida Marlins. And Glenn Beckett's up now. And Glenn in 1971 batted .342, 2 homers and 42 RBIs. Just a pitch to Glenn. And that's going to be against the lefty, 16. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. And Dunston, with nobody out, is going to stop at second. He ain't making the first out at third. So now you got first and second, nobody out. And you got Chris Bryan up now. And in 2016, Chris batted .292, 39 homers, and 102 RBIs. And that's going to be a chopper down the second. That's going to be a nice play by Castillo down there. He's going to get the batter out at first, but the runners will advance. So he'll throw over to first for out number one, but now it's second and third, and one down. And early in the game here, they're going to play back. They'll give up a run for an out, trying to keep a crooked number off the board as Dave Gardner joins us here. And Sam Sosha steps up to the plate. And in 2001, Sammy batted .328 with 64 homers and 160 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Sammy. And that's going to be a base on balls. Might not have been a bad move there. Walks Sosha, sets up the double play. Out at any base. And Derek Lee comes to the plate. And in 2005, Lee batted .335, 46 homers, 107 RBIs. Again, the Florida Marlins will be playing back for the double play. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. And a 56 on a 3. Still might be column number 1. Nope, that'll be column number 2. Column number 2 be a 46 with 1 out. 46 minus a 33 plus a 14. 27 or lower. He tags up and makes it down the third. 27. That'll be a 53 or lower. We got a sacrifice fly, and he's in there. So a sacrifice fly by Lee gives the Cubbies a 1-0 lead. Now you got first and second. 2 outs now. And Florida can get out of this with only 1 run scoring. They'll be happy. Now you got King Kong up, Dave Kingman. And in 1979, Kingman batted .288 with 48 homers and 115 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Nice job by Willis. Pitch out of that mess with only 1 run scoring. We go to the bottom of the first. Cubbies 1. Marlins coming up to bat. The lead it off here for the Marlins is Castillo. And in 2000, he batted .334, 2 homers, and 17 RBIs. And ARRIETA in 2015, he was 22-6 with a 1.77 ERA. Here's the pitch to Luis. And he gets a hold of this, drives that ball out in the left field. And it's going to be called out there by Kingman, though. Nice job by Dave for out number 1. And Chris Collins comes up to the plate. And in 2009, Chris batted .321, 9 homers, and 47 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. Jake walks him. He'll trot on down the first. And Hanley Ramirez comes to the plate now with 1 out and 1 on. And Ramirez in 2007 batted .332, 29 homers, 81 RBIs. And that's going to be against the righty. It'll be a 24 on a 11. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. Let's see if Chris is going to try to get down the third here with 1 out. Socia's got a good arm out there. Again, with his speed, he's probably in scoring position for a single. So I don't see where you would want to really chance it. So he is going to stop at second, Chris is. So base hit in the right field. First and second here for the Marlins. Can they get on the board here in the bottom of the first and at least tie this game up? Cubbies playing back for the double play. Gary Sheffield comes to the plate. And in 1996, Gary hit .314, 42 homers, and 120 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Can they turn 2 is the question. Nope, that's going to be a pop-up down the second. And Glenn makes the catch out in shallow right field. But now there's 2 outs. Still 2 on. And Ozuna comes up. And in 2017, he batted .312, 37 homers, and 124 RBIs. It'll take a 2-out base hit to tie this game up. And that's exactly what it is. He squares this ball up, folks. And that ball is hit into the gap out in right field. And with Ramirez's speed, he may score from first here, especially with 2 outs. 51 minus. Yeah, and Ramirez is going to score with no throw. That's a 2 RBI double and gives the Marlins a 2-1 lead here, folks. And Ozona's down at second with 2 outs. Not bad. Florida gets right back in this game and takes the lead here in the bottom of the first. They're going to have to do some scoring, that's for sure.
Boar.
I don't know about their bullpen and their pitchers. And Justin Bour's up now. And in 2017, he batted .289, 25 homers, and 83 RBIs. Let's see if he can drive in an extra run here for the Marlins. And nope, that's going to be a pop up in the foul territory. Let's see here. 7, 9, 17, 25, 29, 34. That'll be fielding column 2. And that'll be popped up behind home plate near the screen. And that'll be out number 3. That'll end the inning, folks. But the Marlins scored 2 and take a 2-1 lead. So we go to the top of the second. You'll have the bottom third of the order due up here for the Cubbies. You'll have Dawson, Burkett, Barnett, and Jake up here. And the Hawk, Andre Dawson, in 1987, batted .287, 49 homers, and 137 RBIs. And that's going to be a rare play. 40 and a 15. And that'll be hit in the right field. Gary Sheffield, not a very good fielding right fielder out there. 45 and a 1 will probably be fielding column 3. And it is. And that's going to be a single. And Dawson's going to get down the second on the air. So an E7. And the batter gets down the second. So now you got a runner in scoring position, nobody out. And already 2 errors in the game by the Marlins, folks. And Michael's up now. And in 2006, he batted .307 with 16 homers and 53 RBIs. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. Where's this going to end up? Here in Florida. And that is driven into the gap in left field. And that's going to be an RBI double and still nobody out. And still a runner down at second. And it's a tie ball game, folks. Can Jake ARRIETA help his own cause? Jake in 2015 batted .152, 2 homers and 2 RBIs. So they're going to let Jake swing away here. He's got a little bit of pop. If Willis screws one, he might be able to take him yard. And that's going to be against the lefty 12. And that's going to be a base hit. We don't need no stinking DH. That's a base hit in the center field. And Michael, with his speed, is going to stop at third with nobody out. So first and third. Cubbies a hitting machine here today, folks. Even Jake ARRIETA's getting in on the action. Runners on the corner, still nobody out. We're back to the top of the order in Dunston. And he reached on an error and came around the score in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball playing back for the double play. Can they turn 2? That is the question. And they'll get the runner out at second, but Michael's going to score. So that's going to be a 4-6 put out. Now you're going to have Dunston down at first with 1 out and a 3-2 ball game as the Cubbies retake the lead here. And Dunston, will he take off? He's going to stay put down there at first. Burkett's up now, and Glenn, he's single back in the first. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down now. Chris Bryant. And Chris is 0 for 1. He grounded out to second his first time up. And that's going to be a 2 balls and no strikes. Can he take advantage of this 2-0 pitch, folks? And he does. That ball is high. That ball is far. How far back is this bad boy going to go? It's 11. And that kiss it goodbye. Chris Bryant just hits his first home run of the year. And all of a sudden now it's a 5-2 ball game. The Cubbies Willis here in the second. 2 outs now, and Sammy Sosa's up. And they walk Sammy back in the first. And that's going to be a comebacker. He'll fire over to first for out number 3. But the Cubbies score 4 and take a 3-run lead into the second. We'll have the bottom part of the order due up here for the Marlins.
Prado.
Got Prado due up, followed by
Realmuto,
and then Willis. They're going to try to keep him in this game, folks. They can't be burning up this bullpen. Their bullpen's not that great. You got your number 1 starter out there, only going to go 2 innings in the first game of the year. So here's Prado. He batted .305 with 8 homers and 75 RBIs in 2016. And he gets a hold of this one. The Marlins trying to fight back here in the bottom of the inning like they did in the first. And that's going to be a leadoff double. So Prado's on here with a double in the right field. Start this bottom of the second. And JT, he's up. And in 2016, he batted .303 with 11 homers and 48 RBIs. And that's going to be against the righty, a 19. The runner down at second on a 9. Yeah, 19 on a 9. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 41 on a 2. That'll be fielding column 1. And the runner will get down to third. He'll fire over to first. So now there's 1 out and a runner down at third. And can Willis drive in a run. And in 2005, he batted a .261 with a homer. So these pitchers can get the job done. Jake's already got a hit. Can Willis do the same here and drive in a run? And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field to Kingman. Prado does not have very good speed. Let's see here. 42 and a 1 will probably be fielding column 3. And it is fielding column 3. And that'll be a re-roll a die. And that'll be a 56. See if Prado can score here. .34. So 64 or lower. He scores, folks. And he's in there. So a sacrifice fly gets the job done and cuts this to a 2-run lead now. It's 5-3. Now there's 2 outs. And Luis Castillo's up now. And Luis, he flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Jake strikes him out. But the Marlins score 1. Makes it a 5-3 ball game. As we go to the top of the third. You got Lee, Kingman, and Dawson due up here. You see the Cubbies' upcoming schedule. They got 2 more games here in Florida. Then they go back home, and Washington Nationals come to town. And Derek, he had a sacrifice fly his first time up. And that's going to be a base on balls, and Willis gets the leadoff batter aboard again here. Big Dave Kingman comes up. Kingman struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left. Chris makes the catch for out number 1. And now Dawson steps up to the plate. And Dawson singled. Came around the score back in the second. And that's a high fly. That ball is high. That ball is far. Let's see how far this one's going to go, folks. And that's going to be a home run. Andre Dawson powers this one out of Joe Robbie Stadium. And all of a sudden, they increase the lead now to 7-3. Willis is getting his ears left here today, folks. He might not make it out of this third inning. One out and nobody on now. And Michael, he doubled and drove in a run back in the second and came around the score. And that's going to be a 10 now against the lefty. 4, and that's going to be a base hit in the left field. And that's going to get the bullpen up. They can't afford this now. Jake Arrieta's up. And Jake's already had a base hit today. He's going to sacrifice, try to lay down a bunt and get Michael down the second. And that's going to be a 22 on a sacrifice. And he nails Jake. And the Cubbies are not happy at all. Jake Arrieta squares around the button for the team, folks. And now it's first and second. One out. And Willis is this all over the place. Now Sean Dunstan's up. He's 0 for 2. He's reached on an error, grounded into a fielder's choice, and drove in a run. Let's see who they got out here in the bullpen, folks. The problem is their bullpen is not very good at all. At all. That's for sure. Let's see who they got out there. Nobody can really pitch a lot of innings either. That's the problem. Sure. They got to get Willis through some of these innings. Their bullpen's going to be burned up on game 1. Sean Dunstan's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch to Sean. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And can they turn the old round the horn double play? Nope. Pedro's going to step on the bag, fire over the first, and get the double play that way. The old 5-5-3 double play. And that'll get them out of the inning. But the 2-run homer makes it 7-3. As we go to the bottom of the third. And you got the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up here. Chris, Hanley, and Gary. Chris has walked and came around the score back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Jake strikes him out for out number 1. Now with a 4-run lead, he can really challenge these guys now, folks. Hanley Ramirez, he singled and came around the score back in the first. And that's going to be another strikeout. Jake Arrieta's on fire here in the third. Can he strike the side out? Gary Sheffield comes to the plate. He popped up the second. And that's going to be a 21. Against that, it's going to be a ground ball down the second. That'll end the inning. A 1-2-3 for Jake. To the top of the fourth we go. Burkett, Bryant, and Sosha do up here. Glenn, he singled back in the first. 1 for 2 today. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. And again, the leadoff batter gets aboard here. And Chris Bryant's up. And he is 1 for 2 today. He had a 2-run homer back in the second. Can he blast another one here, folks? And that's not going to be a home run, but that is going to be a base hit in the left field. And Willis cannot get a soul out here, folks. First and second. Nobody out, and Sammy Sosha's up. And I think that's going to have to be it for Willis. Get a righty in here to pitch to Sosha. The problem is, who do we want to go to? Say none of these guys really. They're all short relievers. This is going to be trouble all year with this team. That's for darn sure. Trouble all year long, deciding on who the hell to pitch in this. Get these innings. That is the problem. That is going to be the issue. This team's going to be tough to manage.
Alfonseca.
All righty. We'll bring in the righty Antonio Alfonseca, who's going to come in here and pitch. Try to eat up some innings here, folks, as Willis can't make it out of this fourth inning. What a damn shame. The number one pitcher gets shellacked. Can only go 3+ innings. Sure. Going to be a long year for these Florida Marlins, I'm afraid to say. And Antonio in 2017 was 4-5 with 21 saves and a 3.23 ERA. Comes into a 7-3 ball game. Runners in first and second, nobody out as Aaron Reed joins us. Happy New Year's to you too, buddy. Sammy is 0 for 1. He's walked and grounded out. And that's going to be against the righty. 16 runners at first and second. And that's going to be, of course, a base hit. And that's going to fill the bases up, folks. Single in the left field. Bases are juiced. Still nobody out. And Derek Lee comes to the plate in a 7-3 ball game. Cubs everywhere you look. Glenn at third. Brian at second. Sosha first. And Derek Lee at the plate. And he has a sacrifice fly. And he has walked and came around the score in the third. Here's the pitch to Derek. And geez, you Pete's, this game goes from bad to worse. I tell you, these Marlins are going to have a long, long year. That's going to be a double in the right field. Let's see here. Socha going to try to come around the score with nobody out. And we're not even going to try. This is going to be a double in the right. Sammy's going to stop at third. We're going to have second and third. Still nobody out. And it's a 9-3 ball game. And Dave Kingman's up. He has struck out and flown out. He might be one of the few Cubbies already here in the fourth inning that doesn't have a hit. And that still doesn't have a hit because Dave Kingman just struck out for out number one. Here comes Andre Dawson. He homered his last time up, had a 2-run shot back there in the third. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Have to re-roll a dice here. And that'll be a 38. And Sammy's going to try to score here. It'll be a 51 or lower. He's going to be safe at the plate. 51 or lower, and Dawson has a sacrifice fly, and he's in there. So Andre Dawson with a sacrifice fly. And it is now a 10-3 good buddy game. Now you got a runner down at second and 2 outs for Michael. And Michael's a perfect 2 for 2 today. He has an RBI double and singled in the third. Here's the pitch to him. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Ramirez at short. He fires over to first. And that finally ends the inning. But 3 more runs score for the Cubbies and blow this game up 10-3. We go now to the bottom of the third. Ozona, Bohr, and excuse me, is up. And Ozona, he's 1 for 1 today. He doubled and drove in 2 today. One of the few bright spots for the Marlins. And he does it again, folks. Ozona is on fire here. And that ball is high. How far is this one going to go, folks? And that's going to be off the wall for a double. He didn't quite square it up. His second double of the game, folks. Double in the left field. Didn't quite turn on it enough. Kingman gets it, throws it in. Leadoff double here by the Marlins. And Justin's up now with a runner down at second. He popped up the catcher his first time up. And that's going to be against the righty. 20. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. He'll look the runner back to second. Dunston will fire over to first. And now there's one out. Runner still down at second. And Martin's 1 for 1. He's doubled and came around to score. And that's going to be a 25. That's going to be a ground ball down the first. It's going to be a pop-up down the first. In fair territory, Lee makes the play. And now there's 2 outs and a runner still down at second. And can JT do something here? He is grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. And he gets a base hit in the right field. Let's see if Ozona can score here. 2 outs. And should score with no throw here, I would think. He's got decent speed, not great. Sammy's got a good arm, huh? So a 66 is the only way Sammy can throw him out here. And he almost does, but he gets in under the tag. So that's an RBI single. And makes it a 10-4, good buddy. Game now, runner down at first and 2 outs as JT comes through. And that'll be it for Antonio. This is going to be a game by committee here now just to try to get some innings here. That's for sure. See who's going to come off the bench here. Pitch hit. Now, let's see here. D. Gordon's going to come off the bench to pitch hit. And in 2015, Gordon batted .333 with 4 homers and 46 RBIs. Runner down at first and 2 outs. And that's going to be against the righty at 22. And that's going to be an infield hit. So Gordon comes through here with a hit. So now you got runners on first and second. And 2 outs, and we're back to the top of the order here. Can Castillo come through here? All this happening now with 2 outs. 1 run's already in, first and second. Jake's trying to get himself out of this little bit of a pickle. Castillo is flown out and struck out. And that's going to be a 20. And that's going to be a single in the center field. And JT, even with his speed, I think with 2 outs, is going to be able to score from second. Yeah, he'll score with no throw. And with Gordon's speed, he'll make it down the third. And all of a sudden, these Marlins here in the bottom of the fourth rallying back. And we got first and third here now, and still 2 outs as Jake can't get out of this inning. Chris is up. Chris is 0 for 1. He's walked, came around the score back in the first, struck out in the third, has yet to put the ball in play, and he finally does, and that'll be a ground ball down to Dunston. He fires over to first, and that'll be the end of the fourth. But Florida comes back, cuts the lead to 10-5. We go to the top of the fifth, and we need a new pitcher here for the Marlins. See who we're going to go with here.
Steve Sachek.
Let's see here. Steve Sachek is going to come in here and pitch. So let's see what Steve can do now. Try to eat up some innings. As the Marlins are trying to fight back out. And Steve, let's see what year this is for Steve. In 2013, he was 4-6 with 34 saves and a 2.31 ERA. First up is Jake ARRIETA. He's a perfect 1-for-1 today. He has a single and has been hit by a pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 21 should be fielding column 1 on a 1. Yep, that'll be nice play by Steve. He picks it up, fires over to first. That'll be out number 1. 1 up and 1 down here in the 5th. Back to the top of the order now, and Sean Dunston. And he's one of the few Cubbies without a hit. Did reach on an error, reached on a fielder's choice. Came around the score both times and driven in a run. He's 0 for 3 though. And he'll be 0 for 4 as that's a swing and a miss. Sean strikes out for out number 2. See what Glenn can do here. He's a 2 for 3. Singled back in the 1st and 4th. And that's going to be a ground ball and finally a 1-2-3 inning here for the Marlins. As the Cubbies go down in the 5th. To the bottom of the 5th we go. We got Ramirez due up. Sheffield and Ozona. Hanley's 1 for 2. He's singled and came around the score. And that's going to be against the righty, a 16. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Dawson for out number 1. And Gary's up now. And Gary's 0 for 2. He's popped up and grounded out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Jake strikes him out. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Jake. Here's the man. He's doing it all today. He's got 2 doubles and 2 RBIs today, folks. Here's Ozona. And that'll be the first time they get him out. And Jake with back-to-back strikeouts to end this 5th inning. To the top of the 6th we go. And we got the 3, 4, 5 hitters due up. Bryant, Sosha, and Lee. Chris is 2 for 3 with a 2-run homer. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Chris strikes out for out number 1. And Sammy's up now. And Sammy's 1 for 2. He's walked and singled in the 4th. And that's going to be another base on ball. Sammy walks on down to first. Derek Lee comes to the plate now with 1 out and 1 on. And Derek has doubled and driven in 3 runs today. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Derek. Can he do some damage here with the 2-0 pitch? And that's going to be against the righty at 18. And that's going to be a ground ball. That's going to be a swing and a miss. Steve strikes out Derek. 2 down now. In between the 2 strikeouts is the walk by Sammy. Here comes Dave Kingman looking for his first hit. He has struck out twice and flown out. And not this time. Kingman squares it up, folks. Let's see what he does as he launches ball. That ball is hit hard in the right field. Out there in the deep part of right field. It's rolling around, and Dave Kingman puts on the Jets, folks. He's a brown-eyed, handsome man headed in the 3rd with a RBI triple. How about that? Dave Kingman with a triple in this game. And it is now an 11-5 game. A runner down at 3rd and 2 outs for Andre Dawson. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Steve strikes the side out, but in between a walk and a triple, 1 run scores. We go to the bottom of the 6th, an 11-5 ball game. Justin's up now, followed by Martin and JT anybody gets on, they'll have a pitch hitter for Steve. Justin's 0 for 2. He's popped up and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second over to first for out number 1. And Martin's up now as we've lost the camera. That's not good. Okay, hopefully everything's back. So we just had the ground out. Now Martin's up to start this 1 out, nobody on. And that's going to be a ground ball. Camera. Keep losing the camera. That ain't good. Got a ground ball down the short. And that'll be out number 2. Now you got JT up. JT's got an RBI single back in the 4th. And that's going to be a 19. That's going to be a swing and a miss. JT goes down on strikes, and all of a sudden Jake's sneaking up here. He's got 6 strikeouts through 6 innings. We go to the top of the 7th, and it's still an 11-5 game. Got the bottom third of the order, bottom part of the order due up. Barnett, ARRIETA, and back to Dunston. And Michael's 2 for 3 with an RBI today. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Ramirez. He throws over to first for out number 1. Here comes Jake ARRIETA up, having a fine game on the mound and in the plate here. He's 1 for 2, singled, been hit by a pitch and grounded out. And that's going to be a base on balls. Jake walks on down to first. How about that? Sean Dunston's up now with a runner down at first and 1 out. Sean's 0 for 4. He has reached on a error and a sack and a fielder's choice. And that's going to be against the righty, a 20. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Chris in left field for out number 2. And now Glenn comes to the plate. And Burkett is 2 for 4 with 2 singles. He came around the score in the 4th. And that's going to be another fly ball out the left. That'll do it. Base on balls doesn't come around the score. We make it to the 7th inning stretch. It's an 11-5 ball game. Cubbies up. We'll have a pitch hitter here for Steve. Then back to the top of the order for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 7th. And Dunn will probably come on the pitch. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. Need some base runners down by 6. Gordon's already pitch hit. They don't have many lefties on the bench.
Bonifacio.
Let's see here. They're going to go with a switch hitting Bonifacio is what they're going to go with. They need base runners. So the switchy Bonifacio is going to come off the bench. Pitch hit, try to get a board here. And then 2011, he batted .296 with 5 homers and 36 RBIs. Here's the pitch to him. Nobody out. Start this inning. And that's going to be a base on ball. So Bonifico walks on down to first. So that's what the Marlins needs, base runners. You can't afford to be walking people here. And Castillo comes up. He's 1 for 3. He singled and drove in 1 in the 4th. And that's going to be against 20. That's going to be a base hit in the right field. And with Bonifico's speed, he might make it down the third here, folks. Awesome speed here. He's going to hold up at second. His run means nothing. Don't want to get thrown out at third here with nobody out. So now you got first and second. That's going to get the bullpen up here for the Cubbies. Going to get the bullpen up here for the Cubbies. It's going to be Mr. Smith. He's going to come to Florida. Lee Smith's warming up in the bullpen here. Cubbies ain't going to waste any time here. First and second. Still nobody out here. They got a little bit of wiggle room with a 6-run lead. Chris is 0 for 2. He is grounded out, struck out, walked in the first and came around to score. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And Jake is up to 7 strikeouts now. That's a big one. Now you got Ramirez up. And Ramirez is 1 for 3. He singled and came around to score in the first. And that's going to be our catcher, a 35 and a 7. That'll be fielding column number 2. Strike, runner called off first if neither team leads by 5 or more, and they do. So otherwise, it's going to be a rare play of 39 with runners on first and second. Runners on first and second on a 39. We'll have to re-roll the dice. No, we didn't really use it, did we? Yeah, we'll re-roll the dice. A 35 and a 39. And that'll be 10. That'll be hit down to short. Sean Dunstan's down there. 56 and an 8. 56 and an 8. That'll be fielding column 3. Now what the Cubbies want, that's a single 3 short. Runners advance 2 bases. S runner on second advances 1 base. Nope. So that's a 2-base single in the left field. And all of a sudden, these Marlins now are coming back. So now we got first and third and 1 out, and it's 11. A 6-ball game here, folks. First and third. Let's see here. That might be it for Jake. And that is going to be it for Jake. They're not messing around. Lee Smith's going to come into the game here. So Lee Smith comes in here in the bottom of the 7th as Jake ARRIETA can't get out of this 7th inning. Let's see if Lee can put a name into this rally. With only 1 out, the Cubbies will play back for the double play. What the world? I hit the wrong button there. Try this again. Try it again. What the world? Okay, Lee comes in here. And in 1983, Lee was 4 and 10 with 29 saves and a 1.65 ERA. He comes in and it's an 11-6 ball game. Runners on first and third. Gary Sheffield at the plate. And he's 0 for 3. He is popped up, grounded out, and struck out. And that's going to be a base on balls. And Lee Smith has just walked the bases loaded here, folks. One swing and a bat here. And we got us a ball game. And here's the man that the Marlins won up. Ozuna is 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. He did strike out his last time up, though. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. The Hawks out there. And that's going to be a nice catch by him with the bases loaded here. And that's going to be deep enough to score. Castilla, so that'll be a sacrifice fly to runner on third to score. Hanley's going to stay put. Again, these runs don't mean much. You don't need to be thrown out. He can score on a single at second. So we got first and second now and 2 outs. And Justin's up. And Justin's 0 for 3. Can he do something here against Lee in a 4-run ball game now? Justin's 0 for 3 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And that's going to be a hit by pitch. Unless he's an HB0. So that's a hit by pitch, folks. Lee Smith has now just hit a batter and loaded the bases again. Maybe that's retaliation for hitting Jake Arrieta. I don't know. But we got bases juiced here. And Prado's up. And Martin, he's 1 for 3 with a double. Came around the score in the second. Here's the pitch. And he gets a hold of this. These Marlins aren't going away, folks. And that's going to be a triple. No, that's probably going to be a double. Yeah, that's a double in the center field. And Justin's going to stop at third. So how about that? It is now a 2-run ball game, folks. A double in the left center field. And just like that, 4 runs have come across here in the bottom of the seventh, and we got us a ball game. It is now 9-2. Tying run down at second. Lee Smith has not done any good here, folks. And JT comes up. He's 1 for 3 as Sean joins us here. Oh, thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Same to you, buddy. And JT's 1 for 3. Had an RBI single back in the 4th. And this ball game is getting crazy because that's going to be a single in the right field. This might tie the game up. Martin does not have very good speed though. So let's see here. 34. Okay. That'll be a 54. A 30. So the play's going to be at the plate, a 56 or lower. And we got us a tie ball game. Here's the throw from Sammy. And he's in there safely. An RBI, 2 RBI single by JT. And we got us a tie ball game, folks, as the Marlins come back and score 6 runs. Still a runner down at first, and it's an 11-11 ball game. Who would have thought that when it was 11-5 before this inning started? And remember who started this inning off with a walk and came around the score. Bonifico comes off the bench and starts this rally. So 9 batters, the 10th batter comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. And finally, that's going to be a 39, 42 and a 2. 42 and a 2. And that's going to be runner picked off first. So Lee Smith picks off JT. Don't know what the hell he was thinking. And that'll get him out of the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 8th and a tie ball game here, folks. And Dunn's going to come out of the bullpen here and pitch for the Marlins. In a tie ball game. Never would have thought that when he was getting up and ready. Mike Dunn. Do we want to do a double switch here? That's the question. So Dunn doesn't have to lead off the inning. Let's see. I think we're going to do a double switch. So Charlie Johnson's going to come out, catch, and Dunn will hit in the 8 spot. So Dunn will bat in the A spot. And Charlie will come out and catch, and he'll lead off the inning here. So we don't have to waste a pitcher for one inning here. So we'll do the old double switch. New battery mate, Dunn and Johnson. Mike Dunn in 2013. He was 3 for 4 with 2 saves and a 2.65 ERA. He'll be facing the 3-4-5 hitters in an 11-11 game. Chris, Bryant, Sosha, and Lee. Bryant's 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer. Here's the pitch to Chris. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out to start this 8th inning. And here's Sammy Sosha. Sammy's 1 for 2. He's walked twice. And he is singled back in the 4th and came around to score. And that's going to be a rare play, a 33 and a 40. And that's going to be hit out the left field. Chris is out there. Not a very good fielding left fielder. 13. I think he's going to get the job done, though, folks. Yep. And that's going to be a nice catch. Fly ball out the left. He makes a nice play on it. And Sammy's out of there. So 2 up and 2 down quickly here in the 8th. And Derek Lee, he's 1 for 2. He has a double in this game, a 2 RBI double. He has walked and has a sacrifice fly. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. And the Cubbies go down 1-2-3 here in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 11-11. Lee Smith's going to stay out there to pitch. He's got Johnson, then back to the top of the order in Castillo and Chris and Charlie. And 2001 batted .259, 18 homers, 75 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Johnson out for out number 1. And Castilla comes to the plate now. And Luis is 2 for 4 with an RBI single in the 4th. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd. Over to 1st for out number 2. Lee's having a heck of a better 8th than he did the 7th. So you see the Florida Marlins upcoming schedule. They got 2 more games here against the Cubbies. And then Brewers come to town. Chris is 0 for 3. He's walked and came around the score back in the 1st. And that's going to be another base on balls. So Chris walks on down the 1st, and Hanley Ramirez comes to the plate now. And Ramirez is 2 for 4 with an RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Sosha. That'll end the inning. So we get to the top of the 9th in an 11-11 ball game. You got Kingman Dawson and Michael Barrett coming up here in the top of the 9th. Dawson's 1 for 4 with an RBI triple back in the 6th. That's going to be a fly ball out the left. Chris makes the play for out number 1. And the Hawks up now. And Andre Dawson, 2 for 3. He had a 2-run homer. And he had a sacrifice fly back in the 4th. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Sheffield and right. 2 quick outs here in the 9th. Can Michael get aboard here? Keep this 9th inning alive. He's 2 for 4. He had a double in the 2nd and drove in 1. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dunn strikes him out. And the Cubbies go down 1-2-3. To the bottom of the ninth. Due up in the top of the 10th. This 11-11 game. Sheffield's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch to Gary. And that's going to be against the righty at 22. That's going to be a fly ball out to Kingman and left for out number 1. And Arizona's up now. And he's 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Dawson in center. 2 quick outs here in the 9th. And Justin comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3. He has popped up, grounded out twice, and been hit by a pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short, 52 and an 8. And that's going to be an error by Sean Dunston. Puts the go-ahead run, the winning run down at first, folks. And Martin's up now. Pedro is 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Sammy, so the error doesn't cost him. And we're going into extra extras. Read all about it. Extra innings, folks. Mike Dunn's going to come out here in the top of the 10th. He's due up to lead off the top of the bottom of the 10th. That'll be it for Lee Smith. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. Bring out some. Let's bring out. Let's see here. Who hits lefties well on the bench? It's going to be James Hickman's going to come off the bench. He's got a little bit of pop and he hits lefties pretty good. See if Hickman can do something here in the top of the 10th. Where's he at? There's old Hickman. And that's definitely not the right pitch for Hickman. We'll have to fix that later. Have to fix that. That's not the right pitcher for him. And in 1970, Hickman batted .315 with 32 homers and 115 RBIs. Can Hickman get aboard here against Dunn? And he does more than that. That ball is high. That ball is far. That ball is out of here, folks. A pitch hit home run puts the Cubbies up 12 to 11. And that'll get Bruce Sutter up now to close this game out. He's 0 for 5 on the ball game. And that's going to be an 0 for 6er. So he hits that ball down the second for out number 1. Yeah, it was a nice pick for pitch hitting, wasn't it? Like I say, he had a little bit of pop, but I liked him mainly because I thought he could get on base against the lefty. Glenn's 2 for 5 today. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Chris for out number 2. So Mike settled down after the homer. And now you got Chris Bryan up now. He's 2 for 5. He had a 2-run shot back in the second. And that's going to be against the lefty at 10. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. Chris is aboard here now with 2 outs. Can the Cubbies add some insurance runs now with Sammy up here? Sammy is 1 for 3. He's walked twice, came around to score twice. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Sammy strikes out, but the leadoff homer by Hickman makes it a 12-1 ball game. And out of the bullpen is going to come Mr. Bruce Sutter. Let's see if Bruce can shut these Marlins down here in the bottom of the 10th. He'll have a pitch hitter for Dunn. Then we're back to the top of the order. So Bruce will come in the game first. then who's going to come off the bench here? They've used all of their lefties. They're going to bring out the big boy right away. Might as well give it a try, too. As Mr. George Stanton's going to come out of the dugout here. The pitch hit. And in 2017, he batted .281 with 59 homers and 132 RBIs. This is power against power, folks. And Bruce is going to win this one. That's a ground ball down to Chris Bryant at third. He fires over to first. That'll be out number one. Now we go to the top of the order here. 1-0. The ninth hitter. Forgot about Charlie. And Charlie came in for that. When we did the double switch, Charlie's 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Bruce strikes him out for out number 2. And now the Marlins are down to their last out. Luis is 2 for 5 with an RBI. Can he keep his game going? And nope, another ground ball down the third, and that'll end the game, folks. What a game. The Marlins made a run out of 12-11. Take a look at the box score here. Did not see this game ending like this. Thought the Cubbies was going to pound them into submission is what I thought. The Cubbies 12 runs on 14 hits and an error. The Marlins 11 runs, 11 hits and 2 errors. Look at Chris Bryant, 3 for 6. Andre Dawson, 3 for 4. You had Bryant and Dawson and Hickman all with homers. Hickman with a big pitch hit homer in the top of the 10th. The Cubbies 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position, left 7 men on. You had Castilla, Martin, and JT both had 2 hits. You had, look at that, the Marlins 6 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Left 5 men on base. How you doing, hon? And Jake Arrieta gets a no decision. Did not pitch well in that 7th inning. 6 and a third, 9 hits, 8 runs, 2 walks, struck out 7. Lee Smith came in, did not do a great job, but gets the win. Pitches 2 2/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, walked 2, and struck out 1. Suter comes in, gets a strikeout, and gets his first save of the year. Willis did not have it, and he goes 3 innings, 9 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them earned. Walked 2, struck out 1, and gave up 2 homers. Antonio Alfisco, he gets 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run, struck out 1. Steve pitches 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, walked 2, struck out 4. And Mike Dunn gets the loss, 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, struck out 3, and a homer to Hickman. Take a look here at the at the standings and leaderboard. In the National League, you got the Braves are 1-1. The Marlins are now 0-1, a half a game back. Cubbies 1-0. The Reds 2-1. The Brewers 1-1. And the Diamondbacks are 3-0. The Padres 1-2, and the Rockies 0-3. Chris Bryant and Davey Concepcion with batting .500 on the year. You got 3 batters with 2 homers, and Tony Gwynn with 5 RBIs on the year. And of course, the leaderboard in ERA is going to be a 0 and 1 win and 1 save. And right now, Hank Aaron's leading in MVP, and Randy Jones for the Cy Young. And let's see what matchup we got here in game number 2 of this series. On April Fool's Day. It says Jester against, that ain't going to be right. It's going to be Dick Ellsworth going up against Josh Johnson is what the pitching matchup's going to be. I want to thank World's Worst Gamer Sean, Aaron Reed, check out his channel, Dave Gardner for stopping by, check out his great channel, and Philip Reynolds, check out his great channel. If you're new to my channel, folks, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for reminders, and on your way out, hit that like button and leave a comment. Till next time, you all have a great day and take care.